And welcome back to What the Truck Am I Cooking? So today we are going to be making a requested video from Isaac from Urban Kiwanis. We're going to be doing Sheppards Pie. So I've made Sheppards Pie at home before. I used to make it at work, but I'm going to have to downsize it big time. And try to get it done in this cooker. So we're using the Road Pro lunchbox oven, and we're gonna see if it'll make shepherd's pie. So I've got my mashed potatoes here. I'm gonna start those first. I've also got my thickening, my cornstarch, my ground beef, beef broth, my seasonings, my frozen peas and carrots. But first off, we're gonna start with the mashed potatoes and get them done. And I'm going to make them a little thicker than I normally would. That way they pack good on top of the meat. So we're going to get the water going for the potatoes, and then I will show you what we're going to do after that. Okay, so I just have our instant potatoes here, and I've already put salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of onion powder in here as well. The water is boiling now, so I'm just going to mix up the potatoes, set those to the side when they're done. Cover them and set them to the side. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get our meat on, let it cook, and then we'll start adding all the other stuff to it. Okay, so now I've got the hamburger meat in here, and of course I left some of the water that I had boiling for the potatoes in here. That just helps it cook a lot faster in this thing. I seasoned it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. So we're going to cook this, let it scramble. When we get ready to drain it off, I'll show you what we're going to do for the next step. Okay, so we're just checking the hamburger meat and breaking it up. I don't want it to clump up, so we're just going to keep stirring it. It smells really good. Keep stirring it until it's done, and then we'll drain it and we'll go from there. Right, our hamburger meat is just about done. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting the stuff ready for us to drain it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a few more things. So let me get this drained and I'll be right back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix up a little bit of our cornstarch. And I'm using cornstarch instead of flour because I don't have a way to cook the flour a little bit so I can get the flour taste out. So I'm going to be using cornstarch because that will dissolve a little better. And I'm also going to be using just Kitchen Basics bone broth. It's a beef broth, and I'm going to be using that as our sauce that goes in here. But I'm going to pour some of this into this cup. I always pour these type of things into cups or bowls, just so you can see, because you can't see what's inside there. And I made the mistake of not doing that before and ruining a whole entire meal because it had slimy stuff in it. So I'm going to pour this in the cup first and mix up some of the cornstarch with it. And then I'm going to pour it over the meat and get it cooking. And I'm also going to add our peas and carrots. So let me get this mixed up and then I'll show you what we're going to do. Oh, another little bit of deal for this is I'm not going to be using all of this, but you can drink this. This is the real beef bones and herbs. You can microwave it or just use it on the stovetop, but you can also use this for marinade in place of oil and stuff, and it's a lot healthier. But I like using the real bones because it has a whole lot more flavor. So just a side note, also 10 grams of protein there. So all right, let's get this mixed up. Okay, so I have added our broth, bone broth to this. I'm also going to be adding our peas and carrots to this, and I only used half a bag, so I don't want to use the whole bag in that because that would just be way too much. So I'm just going to mix those in, and I added about a tablespoon and a half of the cornstarch to the 8 ounces of bone broth. So I'm going to mix this up, and we're going to let it cook for a little while and get thick, and then we'll add our mashed potatoes. We'll add our mashed potatoes on top, and then add some cheese and go from there. That does make it look like a little greasy, but it's not. I drained all the grease off of it. So, all right, we'll give it about 15-20 minutes to thicken up, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and check our meat and see how it's doing. And it's thickening up some. Yeah, it's starting to. Alright, so I'm going to let this thicken up a few more minutes, and then we're going to add our potatoes to the top and let it bake for a while. Okay, so we are going down the road, so I'm trying to do this as best I can, but I apologize for the truck noise. We can't do nothing about that. So I'm using a gloved hand, and I'm going to take and put my mashed potatoes on here because it's going to be a lot faster and a lot easier to just get it on here, especially while we're moving. I just want to get it going. So let me get all these on here, get them spread out really good. And then I also have cheese that I'm going to put on top, but I want this to bake for a while before I put the cheese on. So let me get that. Okay, so I've got the potatoes on, and we're gonna let it bake for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and check it, and then we'll add the cheese. All right, so now we have let that cook for a while, about 30 minutes or so. You can see it's bubbling around the edges. So now I'm just gonna sprinkle some cheese on the top. I know my camera work is not the best. As soon as we go back home, I'll get my tripod, so I can be able to do this a little better. It's hard to do this kind of stuff with one hand, so I don't know how much cheese I want to put, but I'm going to put a good helping. Alright, so now I'm going to close it back up, let it cook for about another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll check it. Alright, let's go ahead and check our dinner. Oh yeah, that looks really good. It's very hot. I'm going to go ahead and dish this up for us, and then we will do the taste test. Okay, so here's how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this, Isaac. I'm not sure if this is how y'all make this in New Zealand, but this is how you make shepherd pie here. There's all different ways of making it too. Some people use different meat. I prefer using ground beef because it's cheaper and it works faster. But yeah, it's good. 4, 5, 6, 7, about $8 to make all this. And there's enough for me and Cody, plus some extra helping. So, not bad. And it took about, I'd say about an hour and a half to make completely, because I wanted it to bake for a while in there. So let's try it and see what it tastes like. Make sure I get a little bit of everything. That is really good. Now, at work I used peas and carrots in it, but at home I never did. But anytime you can put vegetables in something, especially on the truck or something like that, it's always a good thing. So if y'all like this video, please smash that like, share this out, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't, and turn on that bell so you know when we post a new video. If you have something you want to see us cook, comment down below and let us know. We've got a lot of amazing things